Hey, what's up? This is Kaiser. You're, of course, listening to me on Super Trainer. And today I got a wild guest. I don't know how to describe him. You could call him an adventurer, a journalist, an author, an entrepreneur, or depending on who you ask, you might call him an alcoholic and a womanizer. I'm talking to Nate Green. What's up, man?
I like the alcoholic and womanizer part. And you said wild, and now I'm thinking I need to stand up and jump up and down or something. But I'm just gonna sit. So I'm sorry if I'm not too wild for the phone call.
No, you know how they say it's the quiet type you got to worry about. So I think that's the type of wild man that you are. So yeah, I mean, how would you describe yourself? What it is that you do exactly? It's kind of hard to keep up.
I thought you did a pretty damn good job, man. I don't know. I don't really categorize myself as anything in particular. I guess I would say I'm more of a journalist than anything, and a journalist in the sense that I like to kind of delve into situations and kind of immerse myself in different situations and, experience it, write about it, try to connect with people about what it was like, and then move on to the next one. So author works too. That's a newly appointed title. I'm pretty excited about that.
All right, that's cool. I mean, the way you got started though, on this whole path was as a personal trainer. But I understand that you don't do it anymore, and you have some feelings about the subject, about your transition. Can you talk about that on your experience as a trainer, and you were a studio owner too, and how and why you got out?
Yeah, no problem. Well, I first got into the business maybe 6 years ago when I wanted to be a personal trainer. I was really into working out. I wanted to train other people and make them feel what I felt. I felt like I could conquer the world, like I could do anything. And I had a really big physical transformation where I actually gained about 45 pounds of muscle over about a 4 or 5 year period. And so I really wanted to try to transfer that and help some other people out. So I started working at a gym just as a fitness assistant, I think was my original title, which basically meant I just cleaned up other people's shit. And I walked around and wiped off the machines, and that was fun. And after that I transitioned to becoming a personal trainer. I got the lowest level certification I could find, and just so I could get it done with, which, in retrospect, I'd actually like to go back and get more of an accredited association or certification from the NSCA or something like that. But I felt like my knowledge was sufficient enough. I wasn't going to try to train a bunch of professional athletes. I wasn't going to try to be a strength and conditioning coach. I just wanted to help out regular people, and I figured that if I could be better than 99% of personal trainers out there, then I'd be successful. So fast forward, about a year after working in the gym, I just didn't like the environment, and I wanted to create my own place. So I partnered up with another trainer friend of mine, and him and I took out about $20,000 worth of loans and found a spot in this downtown spot that's really, really nice. Costs about maybe $1,300 or $1,400 a month for rent, which, depending on where you are in the country. If you're in New York, that's not a lot, but if you're in Montana, where we are, that's that's huge. That's expensive. Okay. So our overhead was really high from the start, and so I was working, getting up at 5, 6 a.m., working 8, 9, 10-hour days, training clients. He got really busy, was doing really well, making a lot of money from it. And after about 2 years, I just burned out. Couldn't do it anymore. I just didn't want to wake up at 5 a.m. My own workouts sucked. I didn't have any passion for it anymore. I wasn't giving everything to my clients that I should have been, and I felt that. And instead of trying to just kind of push through it, I started looking for other options. And so I've always been into writing, and I've contributed to T Nation and to Men's Health and Men's Fitness and all these other fitness publications for the last few years, but it's never really been a main focus. It was more of just a freelance. So I started looking at that and taking it more seriously, and I think it was July of last year, I was offered a full-time position with T Nation, which I jumped on. And so that, tripled my income, and now I get to wake up at woke up today at 9 a.m. I went and worked out, and now I'm talking to you, and it's been great so far. But if I had to go back, I don't think I would go back. Honestly, I'd probably pick a different field. It's just not something I'm into anymore. Now, granted, I feel like the book Built for Show focuses on building muscle and losing fat and looking good enough to hook up or whatever you want to call it. So I'm still training people, I guess, in that sense. And my articles still deal with working out and fitness, and I still have to connect with the reader. But as far as the one-on-one training or small group training, I'm just over that whole concept. And since I've switched, I'm just a lot happier, and I can actually, I have more of a passion for my own workouts now, which is great, which is the whole reason I got into it to begin with.
Yeah, no, there's nothing to really, to explain about that, because that's one of the great things about personal training. It really gives you a way to get into the fitness industry, and you can kind of get a feel for where your passion is and how you want to really explore it and grow. So I think a lot more trainers can learn from your example, because personal training just in itself isn't going to be the career path for everyone. So it's better to it's better to just move on rather than just completely burn out and ruin your life doing it.
Well, I'd like to point out too that there's some people I'm guessing some people know of Alan Cosgrove, a major mentor of mine, a really good friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
And him and I have talked about this quite a bit actually. Is when I got out. I feel for the right reasons. If I would have stayed in there and just wouldn't have given my clients as much of my attention as I should have, I would be doing them a huge disservice. And so what gets me is the personal trainers that are in the industry know they don't really want to be in the industry, and yet they stay in anyway, because that's not doing anyone any good. We get a bad name as a personal trainer or whatever, and our clients get a bad experience. And, we're like, I forget how he worded it. It used to be that the actors in LA used to be waiters, and now they're personal trainers. It's like they're waiting for something bigger to happen, and so this is going to be good until that happens, and that's not the way we have to approach it.
Yeah,
but like you said, I think it's a good way to kind of see what you're interested in and what path you want to take, whether it's writing, whether it's making an ebook or a product. But I think there's a basic level of confidence that definitely comes with the job.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, yes, you mentioned that now you're primarily your full-time job is as a journalist, and I've been following some of your articles over there on T Nation. It looks like you've really had the chance to meet a lot of interesting people. What's really the most interesting interview that you had so far?
A couple of years ago, I interviewed a porn star. That was pretty interesting. A face-to-face interview. I met her in a bar, actually.
Yeah, face-to-face, I bet.
It was a good face-to-face interview, Matt. We're not going to go any further than that right now.
All right.
No, that was cool, and really just being able to talk to Alan Cosgrove, John Berardi, all these huge guys that I've looked up to, especially when I first got into the industry and that I've met at conferences, and that I can now call friends. I mean, I have them on speed dial. I can just call them up if I have a question, and that's been huge for me, that whole networking aspect. And I think it's another step that a lot of people are neglecting too. They're just hanging out at home, punching on their keyboard, and if they go to seminars, they're not really talking to anybody.
Yeah. And what I also find real interesting is that the fitness industry, the people in it, in general, are really cool. Until you go out and you go to the conferences and meet the people, you don't realize this. But everyone that's made it, they did it basically through the help of others. So everyone is just down to help you out if you go and you look for it.
Well, that's the biggest thing. I mean, going back really quickly again to what Cosgrove told me, Alan Cosgrove, he just basically said, he helped me out with a few things, and I asked if there was anything I could do for him, and he said, nah, man, just pay it forward. Just do for other people